name is Elham Kirbasi. I was the stylist and designer for a couple of Jasmine's looks on Chaos.
The hardest part was like, how can we add makeup to the hair to still let it look like hair and not be super cakey on the hair? And then also very realistically, like putting white makeup on black skin has to be very specific. You can't just be like lathering the entire skin in whiteness and then hope that it's opaque enough to go through. So there was a lot of like, luckily we had a day before where we can test it out and we were able to see like how much powder can I put on before it looks crazy. And then also understanding that with the lighting and the camera, more intensity is important with makeup, so it was nice to have like a day for trial, but then also having said like what idea we were having, knowing what we were gonna do.
The Bride of Frankenstein look was, I think I had different ideas for it. At one point I was gonna like find an old wedding dress that we just sort of like ripped up and had her in. And then I figured out that I learned she was gonna be sitting for most of it because they like roll her in a wheelchair, and I was like, we can make this a little easier on ourselves. So it was really just like some sheets that I tore up. Some of the sheets that we actually used for the Sarah Bartman skirt were then like wrapped around her arms. We really wanted it to have like hanging sort of like mummified looks on her arms, so it was a lot of wrapping. But that was like the moment where we had to do everything really quickly.
On set it was so crazy having to do makeup in 12 minutes.
It really was a lot. It was definitely a lot. We had a lot of limitations with time. Just because once we got to south facing windows, we were on a really tight time schedule because we had the space until 9 p.m. But that also is when Birchman had to bring back the equipment.
Yeah, they had to be there and be
at
out.
9 o'clock. Or they would be locked in the storage place. So that means that we really had until maybe 8:25, 8:30 for them to pack up all of their equipment and leave the place. So which really means that we had until like 8 o'clock.
We had a couple minutes where like her makeup had to get done and she had to be put into this outfit. And like obviously the makeup was a little bit of a priority because like they were gonna be close up on her face. And it's hard to be like putting clothes on somebody while someone is doing their makeup. So I was just sort of standing to the side like safety pinning up these like arm things to just wrap on her. And it really just sort of turned into like draping all the white on her. And I think it worked.
I remember like when we first got to south facing windows, it was just like a lot of like pivots that had to happen with setting up equipment and just like certain things not working. I was telling Jasmine, I was just like, so you might have to like choose between shooting the Bride of Frankenstein or the Sarah Bartman one. And I remember her being like, I really don't want to choose. Like, I really think that we need to do both. And I was like, okay, well, you know, in my producer brain, I'm like, okay, well, you know, obviously we're going to try to get both, but you have to choose if one has to go, which one would that be? And fortunately, we were able to get both, but with that...
Thanks to our incredibly talented team.
Yes, thanks to our team, but it really, like, we literally gave them, like, we gave the makeup team, hair, makeup, wardrobe, like 12 minutes to get her fully dressed in, like, just drapery, full-blown. Mind you, Maritza was practicing on Jasmine doing the Bride of Frankenstein the night before, and mind you, we're like casually just kind of experimenting and chilling, so it was about like an hour, 2 hours of intentionally like getting this look together, trying to do that in 12 minutes the day of the shoot. Really intense, really crazy.
That was the first and only time, hopefully, that I see makeup being done so fast on set. We're looking crazy. If it wasn't for Jessica, shout out to Jessica, because if it wasn't for Jessica helping me out, we would have not gotten that shot.
All right, cut. And that's a wrap, everybody.